That is Sylvia Alibai. And I think alongside with her is her sister. This is like, family business. The general manager of Talent Africa, Miss Wilson. All right, ladies, I need you up here just to say a couple words. Let me repeat again. I don't know, we need some music. It's Sylvia likes. She loves to catwalk. So, director of the Talent Africa Foundation, Sylvia Alibai. Thank you very much. Yes, look at her, blink, glitter, yes.
Thank you. Sorry, Sheila, the ladies from finance and procurement were distracting me. Those are very important departments. So I was trying to give my CV.
Get that money.
Hello, everyone. Oh my God, I'm so happy to see all of you ladies, powerful women in Uganda. Hopefully security is, because all the economy will literally collapse, crash, if anything happened to us. Security gulu gulu. I want to welcome you all to this Women's Day celebration, even the men that are on the sidelines. Thank you for coming in. Nadia is always representing, because I know Ali's like, please don't leave me alone in these women. I need a bro. And he always drags Navio. So Tilly, thank you for always coming along with him, because Ali needs him. Ali wa because he knows I'm about to chopper him. Sorry. Anyway, this Women's Day, the topic is breaking the bias, especially in the workplace. Internationally, we are discussing how women can break the bias that we experience in society, but I will emphasize in the workplace, because that's where we need to take our position as women. We have so many years to catch up on. Men have been doing this, have been in leadership for thousands of years. But as women, we have just started. I think this generation, my generation, is the first generation of powerful women. And we need to start breaking the bias and the stereotypes. But my purpose of standing here is to discuss how can we do this? How can we break the bias? I'll give you an example. Women were always biased. We're not always biased. People have bias against us. They doubt our capabilities because we are literally the first generation. My mom was not like me. My mom was a real tugende tufumbe kind of person, ngumile waka, come rain, come shine. That was my mom, but I'm not my mom. And most of us are not our mothers. Most of us, apart from you two ladies are excluded from this conversation because you all have been boss ladies for old school money. That's what I would call, old school money. These are the old school boss ladies, that have kind of paved the way for women like us. But our mothers were they tugende tufumbe twajja kugumira mbeera. But then we grew up and we said that we are not our mothers. And we are literally the first generation to get there. So while we are fighting for this, we get a lot of bias because of the fact that you are a woman. And that's disappointing. You are a woman, you are born a female, therefore there is a lot of bias against you. You are a girl, you're not perceived as being brilliant. And now when you're beautiful, it even becomes worse. Right? It even becomes worse. I think all of us, the women that are extremely beautiful and have managed to make it through in this society, and you understand what I'm talking about. The more beautiful you are, the worse it becomes for you. The more you're going to be tortured, the more you're going to be looked down upon as though what are you talking about? What are you wearing? In the workplace, you just get looked at as your makeup, as your clothes, and as your looks. But when you stand up to speak, everyone is like, Toina Chotugamba. Then over in your workplace to go to meet other people, maybe there's a deal you need to break, there's a contract you need to get, and they call your boss, you sent us a woman. Immediately, we experience bias, not because of our background, not because of the content of our heads, but because of the fact that you're a woman. And that's pretty sad. 2022, the Women's Day celebration internationally says we need to break the bias. So how do we break this bias? One, we say we are not victims anymore. We are not women, we are not victims anymore. We do not perceive ourselves as victims anymore. I was discussing with young people a few days ago that came to me, they want me to speak at their school, and they say the boys have not been empowered. Women have been empowered, but the boys have been neglected. I told him, why do you feel neglected? Everything is going to a woman. A man, if you cry, they say you're not supposed to cry. And that hurts our feelings. I'm like, dude, you have a long way to go. Besides race, the gender of a woman has been the most persecuted person in history. Literally thousands and thousands of years, the world has persecuted a woman. Then race is number two. But when it comes to persecution, women have faced the most persecution in the world. For not hundreds, but thousands, maybe even billions of years. It is this generation that we are starting to stand our grounds and say that we need to be heard. We are women and we are proud of it. So how do we break the bias? We are not victims anymore. The victim mentality, we are breaking it. We are empowered, we are courageous, and we are not victims. So what are we going to do? Not play the victim card anymore. So when you know it's your fault and you know you're tardy, don't say, oh, my boss is punishing me because I'm a woman. Right? So that is one of the things that has created bias in the workplace. Because now we have been victimized so much and we've taken on the identity of being a victim. We use the victim card. And what that has created is the bias in the workplace. So I want to say we are not victims anymore. We are strong, empowered women who deserve equal opportunity because we can bring the same at the table. Differently, but the same in quality and in quantity. So we are not victims anymore. The other thing I would say is to accept our roles as women. We forget our roles because of what we've been through. And what we do is to identify with generally roles that go with women, with men, with something like what a man can do, a woman can do. We need to embrace our differences. As women, we are different and we have to be proud of that. It's through our differences that makes us strong. It's what makes us who we are. We accept we are not men. We don't have testosterone. Right? We have estrogen. We need to embrace our femininity, our estrogen, and that's where our strength comes from. Because you know what? Once you're crying, because normally we are weak as women emotionally, not in terms of strength. Okay, then is fine. But in terms of emotions, we are weaker. You find that you cry easily, you break down easily under pressure. But because you're at the workplace and you're in a competition, you feel you need to compete how a man competes. You can't break down, but you have to break down. After that, everyone will laugh at you. Oh, the boss lady has broken down. Why you didn't embrace your difference as a woman? So as we become boss ladies, we need to accept our roles. That I'm a woman, but I have estrogen. I'm a boss lady. If you see me crying or if you see me sad, that's the way a woman is created. Accept my difference in the workplace. That is what is going to end the bias in the workplace. Let's embrace ourselves. It makes us stronger. But when we run away from it, you want to act tough, you want to punch everyone in the workplace because you don't want to identify as a true woman. You want to be Golola Moses. Then when you break down in a meeting, auntie, she's a woman. However, yes, because you're a woman. However, if these men get used to who we are as women, because my emotionality is not because I want to cry, but that's how God made me. I'm an emotional creature. I'm a simple, soft creature. Handle me with care. Don't come out. So when we go out in the workplace, we need to go in as women, not as men, because we are different. And those differences have to be embraced. Then the last point I'll talk about is we need to raise our sons better. We are mothers now, most of us, either biological or adoption. We need to raise our sons better. Make them better men for the future generation. Don't turn them into wusses. That's not what I'm saying. Don't turn them into wusses. But they need to be better men who understand what a woman is and why she needs her respect and her space. At the same time, also the boy embracing his manly side. So as mothers, we need to raise not only our babies, but now the men around us. Teach them better. If you have a husband, don't fear these conversations. When you talk to your husband, he may be treating you well, but he goes out there and treats other women like crap, and then the cycle continues. And maybe he's also treating you as less because you're a woman. Don't fear him, talk to him. You have brothers, you have friends. It's up to us to talk to the men around us in our circles. When they make a mistake, stand up and correct them. That's not how you address a woman. That's hurtful. That's a hurtful thing to say. That's not how you decide who to give a position to. Talk to them, speak up, represent yourself. Are we together? Yeah. So, in 2022, I thought that this was a really great topic that the International Committee really put up. It made so much sense because as working women, not only in the workplace, but everywhere you go, you find that just for the sense that you were born female, the cards are against you. But we don't have a superhero going to rescue us. We are going to rescue ourselves. And it begins with us. So the first step we have to do are the things I've said, and also let's remember to be better bosses when we get there. Right? Let us be better leaders. Let us be better bosses. In most cases, you don't actually want to work for a woman. You're like, oh my God, my boss is a woman. Do you know why? Because we've forgotten to embrace our femininity. Now you turn to be a man. You treat your fellow women because you're a boss like shit, because you've lost your identity. Let's provide safety to the other girls, to the other women coming up, climbing up. Let them know that when they find a boss in an office, in an organization, they are safe, that they are at home. When we shouldn't be like, oh my God, I wish my boss was a guy. We should hear more of, my God, I have a female boss. I know ladies that have set a really good example. Women feel safe when they are employed in those companies because that woman is there. She knows she will not be assaulted, she will not be, looked down upon because a woman is in charge. As we build our careers, most of us are really young. Let us put that in mind. Make safe spaces for fellow women. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you so much. Sheila, who is Sheila? I need to hype her up. Now, Sheila is coming. And it's Linda Paul, This one is she's the hype woman of all season. Now there's Sheila here, who has some big energy. You know that's
Energy.
right? She's a definition of big type of energy, but Sheila never loses her femininity at the end of the day. Look at her. She dresses like a sexy woman, but the voice that comes out of her. Anyway, thank you so much, Sheila, for hosting. And thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate that. I'm really terrible with compliments, but you know, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. All right, up next.
Oh, you guys, I don't know. It's so hard to follow my big sister over there. Like, every time she speaks, I feel like, oh God, like I need to hide. So hard. I don't know. If you have a big, you feel my pain. Feel my pain today. Sympathize with me, but it's okay, Sylvia. I allow you. I love you like that. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming and allowing us to host you. Sorry, I have to. Shit. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming through and accepting our invitation to be here. This year's conversation is around breaking the bias, and I'm happy that my director of Talent Africa Foundation has addressed that. And as you can see, I'm a very colorful person. I've been told today that someone saw my hair. I plaited some really long hair some day. Someone saw my hair cleaning the floors of Kampala and said, there's Rapunzel in the building. I'm like, Jesus. So I'm so happy that every time I show up in the office with my crazy hair, my boss looks at me and is like, okay, Brie, this is what we have to do today. He doesn't say a word. I'm so blessed to have Ali as my boss. I'm expressing myself through this crazy color hair, and he has not given me any noise about it. I'm so blessed to have him as my boss. I want to also go ahead and appreciate my fellow TAG girls, ladies, women. That is Susie, Rachel, Julie, and Linda. Thank you so much for being a part of this organization. We appreciate your input, and we love you very, very much. We hope that this year is a key turning year for you as we continue working together. My work today is to appreciate all of you as our partners, as our friends. We want to build better and stronger relationships with you. We want to keep working with you in everything we do. We have so much on our table lined up for you this year, and I hope we'll be able to work with you in everything we do. We want to build a proper relationship. We don't want to have that sugar mommy, sugar daddy relationship with you. Lona, I'm looking at you. We want to have very meaningful